And if you don't already have it, put it on your Christmas wish list. How to be a soldier.
The book.
The book.
Audra highly recommends it.
I really look forward to understanding what this document is. And welcome to the Olive Branch, the podcast where two siblings from a small southern town in the heart of the Bible Belt, the Rocket City, Huntsville, Alabama, attempt to bridge the gap between left and right America.
Or at least avoid strangling each other while trying. I'm Audra. I'm your left-wing host. I'm a wife, intentionally childless, liberal, atheist, socialist, communist. I'm unemployed but a caretaker for our mother.
True. And I'm Eric, your right-wing host. I'm a husband, father, conservative, born-again Christian, and proud engine nerd with multiple engineering degrees. I've spent over 2 decades leading adult Sunday school, life groups, small groups, connecting people to God, teaching from God's holy word.
And I've spent over 2 decades as a dungeon master, guiding heroes through the mystical realms of Dungeons and Dragons. And I have numerous community college credits.
Okay, and that counts. So, between the preacher and the heathen,
the Bible and the battle map,
we've got absolutely no qualifications to be sharing political opinions with the masses.
But we're gonna do it anyway.
Let's do this already.
Oh yeah.
Okay. What are we talking about today?
Today we're gonna go over a few clips in regards to the weird war crime hubbub that happened this past week.
Okay. So
off the top of your head, what do you think happened?
I actually don't know something that happened just this week. I know recently there's been multiple boats out in the waters that got hit because they were traveling too fast and looked like they were they called narco terrorists. Mm-hmm. So they got taken out. So was there something specific this week unique to that, or what?
It's something specific to that where a boat was attacked, and then after it was already attacked, there were 2 survivors.
Oh, okay.
And then they attacked again. Yeah. Whereas you're not supposed to use lethal force unless you have to.
Yeah. Well, that's just a very interesting statement, because if you're talking about a terrorist and you're talking about war, it's like anything goes.
So there are laws about how to act in war, and people have pointed out we're not at war. So this is even extra force that shouldn't necessarily be happening.
Yeah. Where are these boundaries, guidelines, restrictions, limitations documented?
In there's like a book of being a soldier. I don't remember what it's called. One of the videos that we have talks about it, but it's literally like the book of being a soldier.
The book of being a soldier. I've never
heard of
the
Army.
This. Okay.
Yeah, and it's like rules of engagement. I don't know. I'm just going to keep making up different ways to describe it. But that's basically, it's the book of being a soldier. And it talks about you can't kill people unless they are an immediate threat or able to resist your military force overpowering them.
Okay, interesting. And it makes sense to have, because you hear war stories of, hey, they infiltrated a territory, they fought against the enemy, the military enemy, they took over, and then what was left was civilians. And then you hear horror stories of what they may, women left alone, and then abuse the situation. So you definitely need to have it spelled out. This is totally unacceptable, illegal, something. So it makes sense to have boundaries at war. But at the same time, what I understand of war, it's almost anything goes, but it shouldn't be anything goes.
Correct.
It's what I think we can agree on that.
And I'm not sure if the document that I'm talking about, the How to Be a Soldier novel, I'm not sure if it was made by America for America or if it has something to do with like international.
All right, let's do it.
We got 3 clips we're going to do. The first one is on Fox News from Mr. Hannity.
You must not obey a president, the commander-in-chief's illegal orders, and not one of them can name an illegal order.
The last few days, Sean, have been surreal. I mean, honestly. Many of my Democratic colleagues, some Republicans, they've been acting like Jack Nicholson in The Shining.
No, I just wanted to make a quick comment on Jack Nicholson in The Shining. So, one, have you seen that?
Yeah.
Okay, it's really a great movie. It's probably been 2 decades since I've seen it, but you know, the whole "Here's Johnny." Anyway, so it's great. So I just wanted to say it's a good movie. Is that not a value-added comment?
No, it's fine, Eric. No, I actually saw it. I had seen clips of it my whole life.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've seen it, but I knew I'd never sat down and watched it front to back.
Mm-hmm.
And when like Dr. Sleep or Mr. Sleep or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
the sequel
Mm-hmm.
came out in theaters, I was like, well, I'll finally sit down and watch The Shining before it.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't that good. But I think it was really ahead of its time back when it came out.
Yeah.
And because I've seen all the clips, nothing was, you know, so a surprise.
What's your biggest? What comes to mind? What scene comes to mind when you think of The Shining?
I think of him typing in that big open ballroom, and
What is he saying?
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Oh my goodness, great minds think alike.
Like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. I mean, they're just hysterical. They've clearly exceeded the limits of their meds. They're running around. They call the president a warmonger. They call the secretary of war a war criminal. There's
something that I don't like about what he was saying about everyone being hysterical and going like The Shining.
Yeah.
This is why I'm probably not good for a podcast, and also I'm probably not good at editing our podcast.
I'm worse at being in a podcast than you, so you're better than me.
Inaccurate.
Wrong again.
I don't like hyperbole. I don't like him making generic, outlandish statements about everyone being crazy. I'd rather him say, Pete Smith said a bonehead thing when he said A, B, and C.
No, I get it. Representing the right, that's one thing I really don't like about the left. The left seems to always name call. They don't say specifics of what they don't like. I guess in this case they are doing specifics on the war crimes, so that's good. But it seems like, what, you're doing a policy I don't like? Well, you're racist, or you're a fascist, or you're, you know, it's just mean name calling instead of, hey, here's the issue with that policy.
Yeah.
It's not, I see what you're trying to do there. It does have this benefit, but it has these cons that really hurt me and our community, and this is why this is not the best route.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of that, do this, and that would be better for everybody. I wish they would have communication like that, but it doesn't happen.
Not too much. But yeah, I don't like the hyperbole.
Yeah, hyperbole.
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 Hyperbole's how you spell it. Hyperbole's how you say it.
Hooked on
speaking
phonics.
directly to our folks in the military, telling them to disobey orders.
They didn't say that.
So
They said disobey illegal orders. Unlawful orders.
right, but I think everybody knows in an extreme situation, if the president said to kill your mom, I mean, I don't know.
That's a bad order.
Yeah.
You detain your mom. If you
Yeah.
kill your mom, you can be charged for murder.
Right. So, but what, in general, what I hate about this is it's causing discord. It's causing people to question authority. I think if you're a soldier, if you're in the military, if you're reporting to, whatever your chain of command is, whether it's a captain, major, lieutenant colonel, colonel, general, admiral, whoever it is, you're given an order. You say yes sir or yes ma'am, and you carry out your order. In general, always. You don't sit there and go, I think there's a nuance to that command where that's not quite appropriate. I think you need to sell me. You need to justify that to me. I think we need to have some sort of banter where you have to explain yourself, and then if I'm convinced, then I'll carry it out. That's ridiculous.
And that's
absolutely ridiculous.
And that is not encouraged.
To me, that's exactly what it's sounding like it's encouraging. It's saying don't trust your authority, don't and question, push back, delay, have doubt. It's just bad all the way around.
In the military, they are coaxed or coached on how to be insubordinate and how to be subordinate. So the only time you should be insubordinate is if someone's asking you to do something against the Constitution or unlawful.
So they shouldn't say, hey, you need to sit here and you need to understand all nuances of law and how to interpret it. They shouldn't ask those people to do that. The people who hold I'll say the president accountable, whether it's Congress, whether it's senators, whether it's our judicial system, let them interpret that and make the appropriate accusations or charges. You don't say, hey, military, you should have doubt. You should scrutinize everything that's told, and it's just stupid. I think it just puts a bad vibe, a bad connection, a bad dynamic. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Some people consider it being pro-military because if they commit the unlawful acts, they can be charged with murder and they can be charged with stuff. It doesn't fall to the person who gave them the order like it should, which I think it should. I think if somebody is following the orders of their superior, the buck should stop with whoever.
I totally agree. You're making me think of what's the Jack Nicholson movie with
You Can't Handle the Truth.
Yes. What does it say?
A Few Good Men?
A Few Good Men.
I never saw it.
And then those boys got charged for carrying out the code red when their commander gave the order. So
yeah, they're not supposed to carry it out if it's a bad thing. Yeah.
I don't know. I think whoever gave the order should take full responsibility, and the soldiers should be clean, crystal clean.
I completely agree. There are some cases where the soldiers should know better, and they should not do it. And the video that I have from Legal Eagle talks about that in detail.
Yeah. So you're making me think of, after World War II, and then what's where they got together and they had the something trials.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that is, and they talked about, hey, these Nazis, these German soldiers, all these concentration camps, they should have known. You just don't do that to people. It's just too cruel and wrong. You should know better.
To pull one of my favorite lines from a movie, Magneto says at the end of X-Men First Class, "Oh, I've had my fill of men just following orders," because he was in the Holocaust, and then he kills people. Because you shouldn't just follow orders.
They're out of control, and they're confusing two issues. First, legally, there is no question. You don't have to be Oliver Wendell Scalia to know this, that the president has the authority under the Constitution, Article 2, to use military force without congressional approval. I mean, he's the commander-in-chief.
Every president has...
That's only during wartime. We're not at war.
Well, and that's maybe a nuance that I don't understand. Do you got to have a declaration of war advertised to Congress and then it's approved? I mean, or can he just say, hey, do this strike, bam?
All the states have to agree we're at war before the president can just start murdering people.
Okay.
It's a small step.
I don't know. So every president that's ever been around in our lifetime, to include the left presidents, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, they all did military strikes, I think, just like ad hoc. Just,
well, there were also the war in Afghanistan was going on through a lot of Obama.
Yeah, and I don't know what
and
all fell
I was
underneath
sad about
that.
him doing drone strikes and stuff too.
Yeah. But my bottom line, I was thinking, you wake up and then you just see it on the news. Hey, last night America did this attack on wherever. But was that under some existing declaration of war, or was that just something that the President of the United States decided, hey, that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I did? I mean, there's like zero pushback on that, or zero whatever. In this case, we're talking about narco-terrorists, whatever that means.
Fast boats.
It's essentially drug dealers who are transporting drugs into America, which we know statistically kills, thousands of kids a year. So it's a way of preventing obvious, inevitable, wrongful deaths that we can prevent. We've had this war on drugs for how many decades? We are losing that war. I think we need to do something different to be more effective to shield our kids from the consequence of these drugs. One, get it to stop coming into our country. So this is a way to do that.
I'm not opposed to going out and finding the boats and getting them. I don't believe in bombing boats of people I've never made eye contact with and talked to. And if they can't overtake the boat without bombing it and not meeting them first. But until they resist, you shouldn't just murder strangers because they're in a boat that's fast. That's a small personal feeling I have. Don't murder people you've never made eye contact with.
That's my rule of thumb. And I've yet to violate that. I will never murder them without looking them in the eye. So that's been, part of how we grew up.
It's a family value.
It's a family. All right. It's a decent point.
And if they had survivors, like the issue with the war crimes recently was they bombed a boat, there were 2 survivors, then they bombed the boat again. And they bombed the boat, according to legend, under the order, kill all survivors. Which that's against the war crimes.
So of what I understand, it's a rumor that's been debunked. So
I haven't heard it's been debunked.
I heard it's been denied.
It's been denied.
Okay. Well, then it's just an accusation. So it's he said, she said, I don't know.
So the people on the ground that did it thought that was their instruction.
Well, I got a video that says that it's just not a real thing.
Every president since World War II. President Truman dropped bombs on Japan. President Clinton bombed Serbia. President George H.W. Bush went into Panama. None of the Democrats said a word when we bombed Iran and took them out. So they're wrong on the law. Now, on the other question, of course, is a moral issue. Should the president be doing this to narco-terrorists, to drug dealers?
The American people, I doubt there's anybody...
Yeah.
Have you ever known someone to do drugs?
Yes.
Have you ever known someone to sell drugs?
I think I'm aware of that, yes.
Do you think they should be murdered?
Seems a little rough.
That's my take too.
Yeah, but it's one thing to have a dime bag. I don't even know what a dime bag is, but I've heard that expression. I'm sure it's some sort of measurement of volume or weight of, or maybe the cost of the bag. I don't know. But I'm going to speak slang like I know what I'm talking about. A dime bag of weed. That product has only so much impact. But if you've got a whole boat full of, whatever, hundreds of pounds of fentanyl, I don't know, that's just different. Especially when they say this volume of product can take out, thousands of lives. I don't know. It's
another question I have.
One more point. When they arrest drug dealers or drug users, whatever, the charge goes against how much product you have. So these supposedly, I mean, I guess I don't know if they have means to proving it, if they're exploding it.
That was my next thing is, if Biden had killed 80 people on open waters with no proof for why he did it, do you think Republicans would have an issue with that? Because they're not getting any of the evidence of what was on the boat.
I mean,
who they were. It looks like in this last raid, or the bombing in question, one of the people was a bus driver and a fisherman who got talked into doing the transport of the stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the big picture here. I mean, there's the critical rub of what you're saying, and I do think probably due diligence. It would be better. It would be
a lot of value added.
Unarguably, is that a word?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be unarguably better if you had complete evidence. Look, this is how much product. This is, and they were coming to America. I don't know if you could even know their true motive of where they were going. I don't know that they'd volunteer it. But if you had evidence, this is the product that they had. That would be a lot better.
Yeah.
However, just intuitive, just deductive reasoning. What else could they be doing?
Oh, I have a very paranoid conspiracy theory.
What? Ooh, this sounds interesting. You got me. You intrigued me.
And it's not that far off. I actually think probably a chunk of the left think this.
What?
They are murdering people with very minimal cause or explanation to set the precedent to be able to politically attack dissenters. So that is a step towards, no, we just do this and it's okay. No, we just do this and it's okay. We murder these people. We have a blanket excuse. I have the authority. I don't have to go through checks and balances. Oh, there's a Black Lives Matter rally? Yeah, they're all terrorists now. Just bomb it.
I think that is grossly far-fetched, and I do like to entertain conspiracy theories, because usually there's a good thread to latch onto that makes an interestingly plausible, mystery come to life. That just seems close to ridiculous. You would have to really believe there's a very nefarious, if not evil, agenda at hand. Like, do you think Trump or the current administration has an agenda to just start killing citizens?
As far as what you're saying, they would have to believe something very nefarious or whatever. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If we were getting Kim Jong-un,
okay,
we're North Korea, he's coming into power, how would he start attacking his dissenters?
Shooting them. I don't know.
Well, if you have the checks and balances in place, you have to push the laws until people are okay.
I understand what you're saying about establishing a precedent. It's just, yeah. You have, to me, for you to go down that line, you do have to, and I'm not somebody that has full faith in government. I think there's a lot of corruption in government. I think, people put in power, they can't handle the power, and then they end up abusing it, and then
there's bribes, and then it happens. Corruption is a real thing. So I don't have full faith in government, but at the same time, I truly believe Trump is a patriot. He's a patriot that loves the United States. He loves the military. He loves Americans. He's trying to put America first. We've gotten kind of in a rut of caring about everybody else and neglecting our own poor and our own military and our own veterans. And he's trying to help put America first, which is, I think, is a way to correct where we've gone awry over the last few decades.
I have no idea who the person you're talking about is.
Donald J. Trump, our president.
I don't I can't think of anything he loves.
He loves America. He loves his wife. He loves his family. He loves his kids. He loves the military.
I
he loves
haven't felt
business.
any of that ever listening to him talk.
Okay. I mean, he's definitely a personality that's, I'll say, an acquired taste. But we've already talked about this. The same delivery, the same rough, anti-woke, politically incorrect spiel. For some, it's a huge bug. For some, it's a huge perk. It's just a difference of opinion and value system and perceptions. Hit play, let's go.
Watching now that doesn't know somebody who lost a relative or a child to a drug overdose, be it opioids or fentanyl, that doesn't understand.
And this states the crux of the problem is like you said, have you ever known anybody to do drugs or get, man, it's kicking so many people's butts. Everybody that can hear my voice, they know somebody in their circle of life, and it may be in their first circle. It may be a loved one. It may be their mom, their dad, their child, and it's not just, oh, well, that's sad or that's inconvenient for them. No, it's impacting you, you directly, in a bad way. We've got to do something different. To me, this is different. It is extreme. All right, hit play.
Who lost a relative or a child to a drug overdose, be it opioids or fentanyl, that doesn't understand how real this issue is. I don't, the idea that you have 300 horsepower outboard engines and you're flying through these waterways, I don't think you're out there to catch fish. So common sense has to be applied. They are inundating our country with drugs. They're poisoning our country. And then on top of it, for no reason at all, even before all of this, they've been telling people, well, you don't have to listen to the president. What kind of atmosphere does that create?
Well, it creates chaos.
In the video I saw, they never mentioned the president.
Okay.
But I will say, I agree that the drug cartel should be stopped. I would just like proof in a trial. I would like a living person getting arrested and not just murdering people with the assumption. I'd rather people get away than us murder anybody.
Yeah. The deal is, though, I mean, from the perspective of the military, they're calling this a narco-terrorist. They're using actual military to attack these people. These people operate under intelligence and stuff that is not advertised to the masses on how they acquired that information, what the exact details of the information. So just because you don't know it and I don't know it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist, and that's what they're operating under. And sometimes it is classified. It is top secret, and you just can't tell people how you know things or what you know. You just can't, because it would create a vulnerability to the world, because like, oh, that's how they're getting that. If we just make this tweak, they will no longer be able to find out this. So I am exercising a little bit of faith, just because I know the behind the scenes process a little bit. A little bit of faith of they're doing what they do, and you just won't be able to be sold and convinced that it's pure and good and justified, because they can't tell you all their secrets. They can't tell you all how they operate.
In general, I would like accountability for murdering strangers. As an American, I would like to know, I would like for them to be like, hey, this is what we found out. These are the lives that were lost. I would even like for them to. So
let me hit on some terminology. In war, they do not call it murder. They call it killing. And I don't know if that means anything to anybody. It means something to me just because that's the way I understand it. It is a killing. I wouldn't call it murder. Murder is more civilian, out of crime, a crime or passion. This is war, and war you have killings. That may be nothing to you, and I don't mean to trivialize the seriousness of taking a life, but it is different. It's a lot different. Let's keep going.
And look, I've met with Marco Rubio about this issue. We've talked about the legal aspects, but also, my Democratic colleagues are saying, well, how do you know that they're drug dealers? They're not out there fishing, as you put it. Our intelligence is extraordinary. Someone in our meeting asked Marco, said, how sure are you that these guys are running drugs? He said 110%. Our military intelligence is breathtaking. And he's right.
Well, what's wrong with some of your Republican colleagues? Because, it's like at times, they show this weakness or desire. They want to show that they're fair and go along with the Democratic colleagues. No such consideration would ever be given to them, because both Biden and Obama, and I'll go back to Bill Clinton, they killed innocent civilians, all three of them as president.
Two things. One, I don't think doing the right thing and protesting your own side of the party should be done just because you want to earn credit with the other side. And he's like, they would never give you the same credit. Yeah. Like, I don't like the partisan talk right there. Yeah. But also, I don't care if everyone on earth has murdered a civilian. It doesn't make it right when the next person does it. No, both of those things, I just don't like the Hannity's take on it. Do the right thing regardless of what everybody else is doing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. That's it.
Nobody ever brings that up.
Well, I don't mind my colleagues asking rational questions. I don't. Certainly don't mind my Republican colleagues, but there's several. I can think of one in particular on the Republican side.
Lost his mind. I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, he has just denigrated the president. He's accused the president of everything but abandoning his children to wolves. I mean, he states categorically the president is committing a war crime. These drug smugglers deserve due process. They've been declared foreign terrorists, just like Osama bin Laden was. Presidents have done it all the time. And you may disagree with it, but clearly under the Constitution, the president has the authority to use lethal military force against our enemies. And the idea that these drug dealers and drug cartels are not trying to undermine the national security of the United States is ludicrous. They're killing our children.
Go to the next one. What's your favorite video?
Okay.
Only in America could a video reminding the military not to commit crimes lead to the president demanding executions.
Did you hear about that?
Pause.
I did.
Oh yeah, you did.
Great video, by the way.
Hey, you don't like when they try to manipulate with weird music and stuff. I don't like them manipulating because I think there's some. I can't prove it, but I want to say there's some photoshopping done to this picture of Trump here.
That's very... I thought that was like a candid.
I don't know what's...
You know how when you accidentally get your phone to take a picture of you, underneath from your pocket when you're pulling it up? I thought that's what that was.
But I think they did a little bit of photoshopping. I don't know exactly what they did, but something to make him look either evil or...
I don't think so. No, I've actually said I think it's funny because... the person talking is like a 40-year-old lawyer. Mm-hmm. And I think that's fun that they are having to make the thumbnail for their video.
Yeah.
So it's just YouTube,
clickbait.
Playing the system.
Manipulation. How about that? I just want to turn it off.
Oh, I agree. And if their word choice was worse, I would do it. But I actually usually just listen, so I didn't even notice that picture.
Because that's how you see them. You thought I was just...
Yeah, it's a candid photo.
Yeah, it's just how I naturally see them.
No, they actually say something here in a second where I didn't like them saying that because it was too one-sided. We'll get to it.
Hey, to your point, didn't they just say where he ordered...
Yeah.
Okay, but did he?
Yeah, on Truth Social.
Yeah. Hang on a second. I was just going to say, I don't know if this video... I haven't seen this whole video because this video is horrible. Anyway, I watched a few seconds of it and I'm like, I'll just speak to it real time, but this is a garbage video. Anyway, Of what I do know, I think Trump didn't say go kill anybody. He said back in the day they would have hanged these people, something like that. Essentially, they're treason, they're traitors.
Do you think that's appropriate?
Okay, that is totally different than saying Trump said go kill
Oh, I'm
these
just saying, even with your explanation.
Yeah, but it's a separate topic. It's a separate topic, and I can answer that. Of course it's inappropriate. But that's different than misquoting him to say he
I don't know if they
made an
misquoted.
order to execute people. That is misinformation at the max.
And we'll go through the video and see, because I believe they do show what he said.
Okay, load me up. Load me up.
6 lawmakers said, "Hey troops, follow lawful orders and refuse illegal ones." And Donald Trump responded with, "Punish them with death." Truly incredible stuff.
Pause. Is that really what he said, Joker? I like his suit and tie, though. It's a good combo, and he looks sharp, but he's a false advertiser. So, let's go.
Meanwhile, actual service members are calling outside lawyers because they're worried the administration is ordering strikes that could make them war criminals. So the civilians are asking the troops to follow the law, and troops are trying to find out what the law even is, and the commander-in-chief is rage posting during sundown hour.
That's the line I didn't like.
What did he say?
He just said that Trump is rage posting at sundown hour, which is like, I think it's a knock at Trump's age.
Yeah, the main thing, yeah, I don't even know what I don't like. I don't like anything about what's going on here. I don't even remember what my main point was. Oh, he said Trump gave that order to, I don't even remember what he said. What did he say? Here.
And refuse illegal ones. And Donald Trump responded.
That's what I wanted to address. He said, you don't have to state the obvious. You don't have to make a nationwide campaign that goes on a commercial that's on all the news saying, hey, obey legal orders and refuse. That's stupid. Why even do that? It's planting discord. It's horrible. It's just a bad vibe. It makes people question. It makes people doubt. It makes people think they are empowered to deny. It's just horrible. It's just bad. So I ain't buying it. Yes, you should disobey illegal orders, but you don't need to sit there and filter and be thinking about, is this illegal? He needs to sell me. I need more information. I think this is a nuance. That's just garbage.
And they talk about that here in a second.
All right, go.
Punish them with death. Truly incredible stuff. Meanwhile, actual service members are calling outside lawyers because they're worried the administration is ordering strikes that could make them war criminals. So the civilians are asking the troops to follow the law, and troops are trying to find out what the law even is, and the commander-in-chief is rage posting during sundown hour. Let's break down what an illegal order actually is, and why this whole mess is more than just political theater. Senators Alyssa Slotkin and Mark Kelly and Representatives Jason Crow, Maggie Goodlander, Chris DeLuzio, and Chrissy Houlihan, all Democrats, released a short video reminding the military and intelligence community that they had a duty to refuse illegal orders.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens.
Like us. You all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law
or our Constitution.
We know this is hard
and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
Trump's response? Kill them. He posted seditious behavior punishable by death.
Is that true? Is that what he posted? I mean, I assume it is.
I was about to say, it's a website run by lawyers. I don't think they would accuse the president of saying something he didn't say on a YouTube video.
I haven't seen that post. What is that on? Is that on X?
I think that's on X.
Yeah, it looks like an X post. I haven't seen it. Not familiar. I don't think that's I saw something different. Forget what it was.
He does it on Truth Social.
I think
he reposted George Washington saying.
Yeah. That's what I was familiar with. Just finish it. It was.
They're about to say it.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
He also reposted someone saying, hang them, George Washington would. And on Brian Kilmeade's show, Trump clarified that, yes, death means death. Quote, in the old days, if you said a thing like that, that was punishable by death. So why release this video now? Because over the past few months...
What do you think of him saying U.S. Civil servants making a video telling people to follow the law is punishable by death?
So I feel like I don't have anything new. It's just they're planting discord.
Let me ask you a question. A specific thing.
I feel like it's crazy inappropriate. It's kind of like the analogy I just said.
I'm talking about what Trump said, the seditious, punishable by death.
Oh, okay.
Do you think comments like that make the conspiracy theory of Trump's trying to get carte blanche to murder people he considers terrorists to silence his dissenters? When he says, oh, you said something, you didn't even mention my name.
Yeah.
You didn't say anything but follow the law. And I'm saying punishable by death because you're on the other side of the aisle and you're questioning my power. It's Kim Jong-un behavior.
Yeah. What's funny is I do have a big filter on how I absorb Trump quotes. He throws some crazy stuff out. I totally granted, but it's a lot of it is a shock and awe. He's just the master of it.
There's 10 million examples of him. Like he said, what? That's why Trump is on the news so much. You can't believe some of the things he says. This is, to me, it's like a little shock and awe. Something that he said that is just surprising and alarming. But I don't put weight into it. I don't think anybody believes that he really intends to pursue the death penalty of the people that generated this. I would say that nobody believes that, but maybe you kind of do.
I don't think he is doing these people right now, but I do think he is creating a culture that he can get away with whatever he can, and he's testing the bounds of it. As often as he wants to.
What I don't like about all of this, it's like this weird he said, she said, tit for tat, something other. Well, I said these exact words and you said this exact phrase, but it's just bad. Underneath it all, it is disloyal to America. It's just trying to plant discord, and I hate it. It's just a bad attitude. And I hate it.
As an American, I think it's very healthy to question authority, and you're not loyal to America. You're loyal to the idea of America, not a person, not a group of people.
Months, Trump and Hegseth have been ordering the military to initiate boat strikes that seem to violate international and domestic law. The strikes triggered resignations, freaked out our allies, and sent service members scrambling for legal advice. Let's start with the premise that an order is presumed to be lawful as long as it's military in nature. However, this inference doesn't apply to a patently illegal order. The Uniform Code of Military Justice clearly establishes a superior orders defense. Just following orders is a complete defense unless the accused knew that the order was unlawful or if a reasonable person would have known it. It is illegal to deliberately kill unarmed civilians during a war, even if a superior officer tells you to do it. But the line between lawful orders you're bound to obey and unlawful orders you have to refuse is not always so clear-cut. Soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen taking orders during operations often must act swiftly.
I like that they go into specific examples and details of what are the lawful orders you're supposed to follow and where the gray area is.
I'm still curious what this book is about soldier.
They talk about how to be a soldier.
All right, we'll find it.
They don't have time to deliberate on the legality of the order, let alone call a lawyer. There's also a big difference between a palpably illegal order and a tactical or policy choice you might disagree with. For example, service members can't refuse to deploy in support of a mission they believe is illegal, even if the president is arguably exceeding his own authority. Army Field Manual 2TAC 22.3 permits 19 types of interrogation techniques, but doesn't allow torture. This means that if a service member is ordered to waterboard a prisoner by a superior officer, they can't just say, hey, I was following orders as a defense. And the service member would be required to disobey it.
Wait,
if they didn't,
the
they risk rating treatment of detainees. Army Field Manual 2TAC 22.3 permits 19 types of interrogation techniques, but doesn't allow torture. This means that if a service member is ordered to waterboard a prisoner by a superior officer, they can't just say, hey, I was following orders as a defense. And the service member would be required.
So you said the Human Intelligence book. Is that what you're saying?
It was the Army Field Manual. Approves 19 types of interrogation techniques. Torture is not one of them.
All right. That is just a very vague term, Army Field Manual. So right there is Human Intelligence Collector Operations. That's what it says at the top.
Interrogation techniques they're allowed to do.
Yeah, so are you talking about an overarching book that has all kinds of stuff, or that one?
Army Field Manual, I don't know.
Okay.
Manual 2TAC 22.3 permits 19 types of interrogation techniques, but doesn't allow torture. This means that if a service member is ordered to waterboard a prisoner by a superior officer, they can't just say, hey, I was following orders as a defense. And the service member would be required to disobey it. If they didn't, they risk criminal charges under Article 92 of the Uniform Code of Military Justice for dereliction of duty, and frankly, everyone in that chain of command that gave that order passed along would also be liable. So what about the boat strikes in the Caribbean? According to the Washington Post, on September 2nd, intelligence analysts reported that their surveillance had confirmed that 11 people aboard a boat were carrying drugs to the United States. This would be a crime that, in the past and in accordance with international law, would have prompted U.S. agencies to intercept the vessel, confiscate the drugs, and arrest those on board. However, the Pentagon's new policy is to bomb the boats. An intelligence analyst told the Washington Post that Pete Hegseth gave the direct...
I don't like that. I'm a bleeding-hearted liberal. I think they should not be murdered. Even if they're the bad drug guys.
They're not murdered. In this case they would be killed.
I feel like choosing to take someone else's life is a murder.
And I think bringing drugs to America that kill thousands of our kids and puts them in a state of bondage to drug abuse should be prevented.
I agree.
And we have not been able to do that. And this actually turns out is very effective.
I'm curious, like in a year, what the studies and stuff will be about that. Like drug use and...
I mean, if the drugs aren't there to abuse, that helps.
Is it all the drugs that they're stopping, though? Like how many drugs, what percentage are they getting?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm curious. It'll be like 4 years before the stats are in, but...
I mean, if you look at it... Every single life is important. I get it. But when you look at it as, 4 lives of criminals versus, 20,000 innocent kids, I don't know. It seems obvious which route to go.
In my head, the 4 criminals are still 3-dimensional people with good qualities, and they got there in a weird way.
Yeah.
And I also can put some responsibility on the 20,000 innocent kids because they're having to make choices and exposed to stuff. So everyone's a complex human that deserves credit and grace.
I totally agree, but if you got a fork in the road and it's like if you hit this button, 4 people are eliminated, you hit this button, 20,000 people are eliminated. I mean, it seems kind of obvious which is the best path.
Yeah, if you're talking about the railway dilemma, I typically would do it just for the sake of math.
Yeah.
But someone telling me that would happen, and I don't know all the details of what actually... I don't know the criminals. I don't know that they're criminals. I don't know. So, but if I was on the inside and they were mustache twirling... we're going to get these American kids hooked and, then they'll be our slaves for life. I don't know. You could probably talk me into being...
I mean, keeping it real, the people driving these boats are not thinking that. They're not thinking that at all. They're probably, hey, I'm a fisherman by trade. I got a cousin who told me if I do this weekend boat ride deal, I can get paid, $5,000.
Or maybe the drug cartel has their family.
Or that. It could be that.
Yeah.
So they're not as evil as we may be thinking. They're not the owner of the drug cartel.
They're not the one winning.
They're probably some thug. They're a mule.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a transporter. But to me, the more we can discourage people from getting into that line of work and to do something else, the better it is for us.
A second strike to comply with Hegseth's order. So what does that mean for the service members who have been ordered to strike those vessels and kill survivors? They are in an incredibly tough position. First, let's deal with the initial boat strikes. Last August, Colonel Paul Meagher, a Marine judge advocate at U.S. Southern Command in Miami, spoke out against the boat strikes. Colonel Meagher warned that these operations would make service members liable for murder. He was overruled by senior administration officials, including the Office of Legal Counsel. The U.S. government hasn't confirmed the identities of the people who were killed, but the Associated Press said they included an out-of-work bus driver and a fisherman who had agreed to help transport illegal narcotics. If they were drug trafficking, these were crimes, but they would not qualify as an armed attack on the U.S. as defined by domestic and international law. So the boat strikes look like illegal orders because the U.S. simply killed people instead of putting them on trial. So what about the September 2nd boat strike where service members were told to kill survivors? The law of armed conflict prohibits targeting individuals who are hors de combat, which means out of combat due to shipwreck, wounds, surrender, or other incapacitation. This principle goes back hundreds of years, and the Department of Defense's Law of War Manual uses this very situation as an example of an order that service members must disobey.
What do you think about the second strike or whatever?
I have not seen the actual video footage. It sounds like they hit the boat, exploded. There was a couple of humans that survived, and then they tried to get back on what was remaining of the boat. And when that happened, they did another hit to take them out. To me, it's war, and I don't know. It's almost silly. It's almost like. Hey, we went to get Osama bin Laden, and we started out with a missile that hit his lodging station, and it blew it up, and then he started crawling, and at that point in time, due to this specific point of view, he was incapacitated or not able to fight back at full capacity. Therefore, we have to then change our tactic from killing them to now putting him in custody. And because this Navy SEAL actually just walked right up and shot him in the head, he should be charged. It's just stupid. It's freaking war. What do you expect? No, you're doing something. You're a terrorist against our nation. We will kill you. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's just that. This seems like a wasted, silly argument. Don't do this. Don't bring drugs into our nation. We'll kill you. That's what you should know. End of story. Next topic.
Yeah, I'm against our government murdering people.
Killing.
Same.
And I can appreciate that as well. I understand it's still taking a life. But at some point, to protect the sovereignty of a nation and to protect your innocent civilians, you have to go to extreme measures like this to protect the innocent. And to me, it's a worthwhile cause. That's why we have Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. These are very lethal entities. This is what they do, and they're good at it. So to be surprised when it happens or when it's used to protect our nation. Where are you? Where, strength by force. What's happening here is we're doing some very lethal strikes, and it's killing a handful of people at a pop, but it's sending a message. It's ugly up front, but if you do it hard enough and strong enough, people get the message and go, you know what? I'm not driving any boats. And then it's fixed.
I don't know that the people who are the drivers have the autonomy in their life to refuse the orders.
they'll get the scuttlebutt. It'll be talked about. It's just like as soon as Trump did the border and locked down the border. Hey, I'm sending troops to the border. Hey, we're putting up a fence. We're putting up a wall. I have military walking the grounds. We have drones surveilling the line of scrimmage. Guess what? Tapers off. Zero. Down to zero going across the border. I think the same situation will happen here. People will say, man, they have drawn a line in the sand and they mean business. We got to come up with plan B on getting drugs into America. It ain't by boat. We got to figure out something else. And maybe that'll give us a little breathing room to keep it out of our nation for a little while. Anyway, let's keep going.
The requirement to refuse to comply with orders to commit law of war violations applies to orders to perform conduct that is clearly illegal or orders that the subordinate knows, in fact, are illegal. For example, orders to fire upon the shipwrecked would be clearly illegal. Orders to kill defenseless persons who have submitted to and are under effective physical control would also be clearly illegal. According to reports, the Joint Special Operations Command told the White House that the double tap strike was necessary to sink the boat so the debris didn't become a hazard to other boats. That's certainly an argument, but it's a weak one. In order to kill survivors breaks with the rules of engagement that service members are trained on. Troops may only use deadly force to counter a clear, immediate threat. A group of former JAGs condemned these orders as illegal. Quote, the former JAGs working group unanimously considers both the giving and the execution of these orders, if true, to constitute war crimes, murder, or both. The U.S. is not at war with a sovereign state, but the administration claims that these are strikes against terrorist organizations. The former JAG working group says it doesn't matter whether the victims were enemy combatants, terrorists, or civilians, because any way you look at it, the U.S. has no right to kill indiscriminately. Quote, we call upon Congress to investigate and the American people to oppose any use of the U.S. military that involves the intentional targeting of anyone, enemy combatants, non-combatants, or civilians, rendered or to combat out of the fight as a result of their wounds or the destruction of a ship or aircraft carrying them. Reports indicate that some high-ranking military officials expressed deep unease about ordering strikes without clear legal justification or stricter safeguards. That's probably why the United Kingdom is no longer sharing intelligence with the U.S. about suspected drug trafficking vessels in the Caribbean. And here's the nightmare scenario for the people actually carrying out these missions. If the legal theory behind the boat strikes collapses, the liability probably won't fall on the president or Pete Hegseth. Trump is arguably immune, as I talk about in my other video. Instead, liability may fall on the junior officer who pulled the trigger. Under the law of armed conflict, the individual who carries out an unlawful killing is personally responsible. The superior who gave the unlawful order can also be charged, but the order itself does not immunize the person.
Pause. So, just keeping it real, as much as I hate even talking about all this, if that's the case, if our current law says that the POTUS, who's probably pushing this, if the POTUS is the President of the United States is immune to it, and the Secretary of War is not even going to take the heat, even though this is coming out of his direction, and it falls onto the responsibility of a soldier, I would really hate that. I would absolutely abhor a soldier who's just carrying out his orders to do this if the law found him guilty of a war crime. So, to me, this needs to be investigated and clarified, either the interpretation of the law, of whether or not it's actually right or wrong, and then I would like the responsibility to be shifted off the soldier onto leadership who's making the command order. What do you think?
I completely agree.
Yeah. Okay. Me and you are in agreement for that. Olive branch. Bam. On the same page.
I agree.
Okay. Let's go.
Executed it. The Uniform Code of Military Justice makes this explicit. If a service member obeys a manifestly unlawful order, one any reasonable person would recognize as criminal, they lose the obedience to orders defense completely. Instead, they can be charged with homicide, aggravated assault, dereliction of duty, or other offenses.
So, I'm curious, which it's still unfolding now, but if Pete Hegseth said, oh, that's not what I meant, that's not what I said, to double tap the boat, kill all survivors. That didn't come out of my mouth. That wasn't my intended, whatever his defense is on that. Then I'm curious, the people that actually did the strike, if they're going to get in trouble. Because if they saw 2 survivors getting back on a boat and then they hit the boat anyways, that's a war crime.
I don't know if if it's truly interpreted as that. I think the next video talks about they just did standard protocol of the orders, and it wasn't Pete Hegseth saying that. But let's wait till we hear what they say and then comment.
Depending on the consequences. The justification for the boat strikes is legally thin, and everyone knows it, including the troops. That's why so many are quietly asking themselves, am I being ordered to commit a crime? Service members are calling outside legal organizations like the Orders Project because they're genuinely unsure about whether the missions they're being ordered to execute are lawful under U.S. or international law. Many aren't given basic intelligence like who's on the boats or whether drugs are actually present. And they aren't being paranoid. Admiral Alvin Halsey resigned just 1 year into his tenure after he clashed with Hegseth over whether the boat strikes were legal. Refusing an illegal order puts service members in an impossible situation. The law says they must disobey manifestly unlawful commands, but the moment they do, they open themselves up to investigation, pretrial confinement, and the full weight of the military justice system, while a judge later decides whether the order was actually illegal. Meanwhile, President Trump and Secretary Hegseth have now denied giving an order to kill survivors of the boat strike, thereby throwing higher-ranking officers under the bus.
And Pete said he did not want them. He didn't even know what people were talking about. So we'll look into it. But no, I wouldn't have wanted the second strike. The first strike was very lethal. It was fine. And if there were 2 people around, but Pete said that didn't happen.
Well, someone gave that order. And until leadership admits who, the only people facing consequences are the ones who had the least power to refuse.
So, the thing about that video, I think that the takeaway that I appreciated was, as of right now, soldiers are going to be in trouble for what happened.
There's an interpretation that they could be.
Yeah.
So I think it's questionable. So it's debatable.
So,
and I do think that should be figured out. They should come to a conclusion. So
I agree.
I agree.
I think it should be investigated and.
Yeah, and I hope it's found that the soldiers are not liable for just obeying orders that are this vague, and as far as is it obvious. If they said, hey, rape and pillage the village, of course. But this is kind of a weird nuance. Oh, it's in waters and something other. I don't know what. I don't know. I don't like it being plausible for them to be
in trouble.
In trouble, yeah.
All right, we'll do the next video.
Another hoax. That's the focus of tonight's angle. He sounded so sure until he wasn't.
That is a war crime. Full stop.
The Admiral confirmed that there had not been a kill them all order, and that there was not an order to grant no quarter.
So does it exonerate Hegseth? Does it exonerate him?
That's all I've got to say. I bet. Well, what else is there to say? They never learn, though. As Donald Trump is busy brokering peace deals and making America richer and safer, Democrats are busy making total fools of themselves. Because when they're not defending criminal illegals, Somali fraudsters, and international drug traffickers, they're trying to get their first scalp in the Trump cabinet.
I don't like just how broad strokes defaming Democrats as opposed to John Smith said this.
I agree. What's funny is I definitely notice and pick that up when I see the left side speaking to the masses. When I hear the right side, it just goes right over my head. I don't even notice it.
Yeah.
So
I noticed when they said rage tweeting at sundown hour.
Yeah.
I'm like, him being old isn't the problem.
Yeah.
Don't get on to. I think that's what that means, like sundown, like when an old person's like going to bed or whatever. And like, yeah.
Actually, I don't think it discriminates his age. It just anybody could do that. I think we all probably, hey, I'm gonna unwind and just do all my social media and trolling.
Yeah. So I didn't like that. But.
And until this morning, they thought they had it.
The new report from the Washington Post leads some lawmakers to ask whether the Pentagon has committed a war crime.
What we've seen here over the last couple of days, clearly unlawful, illegal orders.
It goes to this order from the secretary, apparently of no quarter, which is an obvious war crimes violation.
I think questioning your government's very American. And it bothers me when people don't like for things to be questioned. Now, I think it should be done with integrity and in good faith. Like, you shouldn't just be trying to poke holes or trying to trip somebody up. But I think you should have as much checks and balances as possible to make sure America is as high integrity as it could be.
Yeah. Let me tell you what I'm thinking and what's at the bottom of my heart on this. I'm a hair distraught, or maybe a lot distraught, because when I asked you earlier, how do you feel and practice patriotism, you said you don't even love our country. And it's not that you don't want to, you feel like it's gone awry to a point where you've lost hope, or you feel like it's just lost its way, and it's depressing. So I hate that. I really hate that. I don't want you to be like that. I want you to love our country. What's ironic is there's so many people on the right side who love the administration, love where it's going, love what it's doing. I actually fall into that camp. It's actually hard for me to process in my mind that I could be so excited, yet somebody else be so down and depressed and upset about it. So it's just it's just interesting. It's hard to process, but I do think what's good, even if it's a left-wing administration, like say it's Joe Biden or God forbid Kamala Harris.
I love Kamala.
No, you got a shirt. But I really didn't think. This will be great. I really believed that the election would be rigged again. I didn't think Trump was going to be allowed to be president. No matter what. And so I was embracing the reality that Kamala would be our next president. But I was trying to prepare myself to still do my best, to still show respect and devotion and loyalty to the position of the President of the United States, to Washington, to our country, to our nation. And I don't know, I think everything just works better if you do that. If you love your country, love God, love country, love family, love your community, and have that respect. Constantly wanting to nitpick and antagonize and be a troll is just not good. It's not healthy. It's not. I think you should ask questions. That's all I do at work is ask questions, and people probably don't like all my questions. But the agenda is what you're saying. It's how can we be more efficient, more effective, more productive, more good. But anyway, I think I said all I want to say. Just I want there to be patriotism, loyalty, devotion, and it sounds like you don't have that, and I want you to have that. So let's see what we can do to get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
Okay.
Be very clear. Killing shipwreck survivors is a war crime.
Thank you, Ted. Well, this all stemmed from breathless media reports, starting with the Washington Post, that in that September 2nd strike on the drug boat, Hegseth had given a direct order to kill any and all survivors. Of course, Secretary Hegseth denied that account to no avail, but the Beltway mob was still after him. Then last night, the narrative totally began to fall apart because the threat remained after the first strike, and the threat needed to be eliminated.
According to a source familiar with the incident, the two survivors climbed back onto the boat after the initial strike. They were believed to be potentially in communication with others and salvaging some of the drugs. Because of that, it was determined they were still in the fight and...
If the boat doesn't work, I don't care how many drugs they put in their pocket. Like, what are you going to do? Take it out of your pocket when we pick you up because you're now one of our...
I mean, just hearing what she just said, hey, boss, we just got hit, X amount percent is still salvageable, come pick us up, send a rescue boat. That sounds like what could have transpired, and maybe all we had was air coverage.
Yeah.
We didn't have anybody, no boots on the ground, no boats in the water. So there's nobody there to come and arrest or take into custody or...
I was going to say, like, if that was the case and Audra was commander-in-chief of the military, I would say, all right, we will send somebody out to pick up the drugs and these people. And if we see, you know, Oscar Soze or whatever, the big drug guy, come and send a second boat, then we can either take them over. If we feel like they're too much of a threat to take over, then we will bomb that boat.
Got you. There's woulda, coulda, shouldas. Everybody's got preferences. Everybody's got nuances on processes and practices. At this level, the details, we just don't have all the information. So I've learned over the years, stuff like this, give a little bit of grace, give a little leeway. People are doing things a particular way for a reason. I try to lean towards, unless I know to judge or to criticize, if I don't know they have a nefarious reason, give them a benefit of the doubt that they're trying to do the best they can with the information they have. I think we'll all operate a little better if we do that.
Valid targets.
Ruh-roh. Then today on Capitol Hill, Admiral Bradley launched a truth bomb behind closed doors.
Was there a kill-all order from Secretary Hexet?
No, both. Admiral Bradley was very clear that he was given no such order, not to give no quarter or to kill them all. He was given an order that, of course, was written down in great detail, as our military always does.
But was there a vocal order as well?
There was no vocal order either.
Of course, after hyping the story, though, all week, Democrats did their best to salvage their own wreckage.
So I'm guessing Admiral Bradley was the leader of the mission under Hegseth. And if he's saying Hegseth didn't say it, would that make him in trouble? Or I'm curious how that's going to work out.
Well, he just said there was no vocal order.
Yeah, but then somebody commanded a second strike on the boat.
Well, he also said that there's detailed orders that were written out in detail, is what he said. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if there's protocol in there on strike one, if the results are this, if then else, then do this. I don't know how detailed they are to show that protocol. Maybe it's already in there in the orders that there's no way I can imagine that being shared on the news to the nation.
But I have more policy questions than ever about the framing of the mission, the rules of engagement.
I thought it was a legal challenge. Now it's a policy difference. Translation, there is no war crime. And because their number one priority is another Trump impeachment, they box themselves into a corner.
Any American who sees the video that I saw will see the United States military attacking shipwrecked sailors. Bad guys, but attacking shipwrecked sailors. Now, there's a whole set of contextual items that the Admiral explained. Yes, they were carrying drugs.
I'm surprised they didn't call them Gilligan and the Professor, right? Just shipwrecked sailors. Well, and not so long ago, remember, Democrats agreed that destroying these threats was a good thing.
Let's go after the drug lords where they live, with an international strike force. There must be no safe haven for these narco-terrorists, and they must know it.
Oh my, have things changed in the Democrat Party? Now they prefer a softer approach.
It could have been
if these
50 years ago.
Boats are full of drugs and narco-traffickers, why not interdict them? Show to the country, show to the world the drugs and the terrorists, the narco-terrorists.
And give them some hot chocolate, too. Great idea. Let's hire them all lawyers as well. Now, you see how Trump has them all trapped here? He wants to make America great again. They want to make drug running safe again.
Forget the war crimes. Forget what the U.S. Army manual says. Forget what the DOD manual says. So yeah, they're making up as they go along every day. And the inconsistency of it all, again, looks very bad.
What looks bad is the egg on their faces. Trump's success has scrambled their brains. And that's the angle.
All right. I guess let me, some of my closing thoughts. And this may be a good intro to another topic that we need to add to the list, is it seems like the left typically, their point of view is very different from the right. And you help me with this. Give me some of your Hannibal Lecter psychoanalysis here. I think in general, the right is all about personal responsibility, and then very easy to go, this is my personal responsibility with high standard, and I'm very cool with holding you accountable to something similar. And this, you know, it's like drug trafficking is wrong, and we're going to put a strong boundary on that. Oh, you cross that boundary, you're going to get high consequence, and we're cool with that. It's like the left wants, I almost want to say, I'll say zero accountability, low to no accountability, and it's more, hey, no responsibility for me to even provide for myself. I want somebody else to provide for me. I want somebody else to provide whatever. I want the rich to share. I want them to do that. And then somebody did a crime and it hurt somebody. Okay, I'll acknowledge that was wrong, but you know what? What about their situation? What caused them to be that way? We should have some sort of sympathy, or we should give some exception to the rule. Hey, they stole because they were impoverished. They were hungry. They had an abusive childhood. All these things, or hey, they've been oppressed. They've got a history of being oppressed. All these reasons, excuses of why, even though they harmed somebody or did something wrong, let me excuse it and justify it. It's like this victim mentality. I'm a victim, and I can see how they're a victim, and they, not only should I not have any accountability, I don't want them to have accountability. Just in general. So I can see how anybody hearing this on the left would be defensive, but that's just how I see it. I'm not even saying it's right or wrong. I do think it's good to understand, how did that person get in this situation? I think that's, to me, I'm an engineer, root cause. If you have a failure of something, you go to the root cause. But sometimes finding out the root cause is hard. You got to do a lot of analysis. To have a corrective action, that takes a lot of ingenuity and design and investigation. Sometimes, but if you can put a hard boundary just to keep that from happening until you can do all that, essentially, I think you need both. I think you need both. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think there's anyone on the left that's anti-stop drug cartels. Like, I think everyone is fine with stopping.
Yeah, but how do you stop them?
Not by murdering people without making an act.
Killing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we don't have to.
Yeah.
If it is a choice between our armed forces who are trying to incapacitate the boat and then take over the people, if they are at risk, because they think that other people may have guns or drugs, whate't, then...
So just thinking real fast, they mentioned these long speedboats with outboard engines that are just, they're literal speedboats. We may not have things in proximity to go and intercept them. It may be very difficult to either keep up, maintain, catch in the water.
So then next thing you know, you got an air attack, which is very quick, very easy. That can. So if it just makes sense, hey, let's do this by air attack. There's no, hey, pull over. Hey, surrender.
I wouldn't mind even an air attack to stop the boat. I don't think you have to blow up the boat, but whatever you have to do.
What could you do that's more minimal? Because a missile is a missile is a missile. I mean, I don't know, and I don't even know what they're using.
Yeah.
Whether it's a drone or if it's I don't even know what they've been using to send these missiles. Heck, it may be from in the water from a from a battleship, attacking from a certain distance. I actually don't know, but I think it's you've got air coverage is what the video that we've been seeing.
Yeah.
So it's probably coming from either a drone or some sort of aircraft.
Yeah, I think especially with this specific scenario, I still think it's overkill to bomb the boat. I feel like you should follow the boat to where it's going and then get people to control it.
Yeah.
I think you should always do more effort than killing people.
Gotcha. That's it's definitely a respectable value to value life. What's ironic to me, just keeping it real, is on the right, typically very pro-life. Left is very pro-choice. To the point of not valuing.
The counter argument is the right is very pro-birth and the left is very pro-life.
What do you? Oh, I missed it. Pro-birth. What do you mean?
The right is typically way more okay with taking away public assistance to keep people from being impoverished, or they're more okay with the death penalty, but they think all pregnancy should be seen to full term. Whereas the left is no death penalty.
Yeah.
Take care of your people.
Yeah.
We're pro-life. The right's pro-birth.
Okay, that's
gestation.
That's a very interesting concept. It marvels me that the left doesn't accept that there's life at conception.
And I would stop that.
Okay.
They do.
Oh, they do?
They accept that a pregnancy is a potential life. And some people say it is a life.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I personally don't. But I know some people, but even if it is a 40-year-old man in that uterus.
That's a weird visual. Okay.
He does not have the right to freeload off of another person's body against their will.
All right, we don't have to have that discussion again. But I'll say this. And this may be a lead into wherever we talk about whether or not, like, our incarceration system or whatever legal punishment is given, is that a real deterrent for crime? I think lawmakers may think, what works for me? What would keep me from doing this? Well, if I tell you what, if a drone would fly over and hit me with a missile, if I was, bringing drugs into a country, I wouldn't do that. Okay, let's make that what we do. I mean, that's just how they think. So people think, what would work for me? So that's why you have people who sound conservative, love God, and voice love for people. It's not that they want people to be dead. It's that they want a good, strong boundary to keep people in line so those people aren't doing harm to other people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's exactly, I think I'm representing the right. I know I'm representing me. That's how I think. That's why I'm cool with them blowing up these boats. I don't want those people to be dead. But if I have a choice between those people being dead and thousands of innocent kids being in drug addiction and ruining their lives and putting so much trauma in their own home fronts with their parents and their siblings and maybe even their own offspring, it's worth it. It's a worthy sacrifice. It's which evil do you want? You want this one or you want this one? Well, let's go with this one.
Someone tell me in the comments what this phrase is that I'm thinking of.
I'll tell you what.
You don't know it.
Oh.
No, there's a phrase.
Sounds like a vote of no confidence, Audra.
It's something like, guard yourself when fighting monsters lest you become one.
Yeah.
We shouldn't murder people even if they're doing the bad thing. We should incarcerate them and give them a trial and be the better person. Because murdering them only justifies their culture in, oh, that America's doing this versus us, and they're the big man keeping us down, and they killed your Uncle Antonio, or what.
So this is a good lead-in. It makes me we need to talk about punishment, incarceration, death penalty. Is it beneficial? Is it really a deterrent or not a deterrent? And if there's an alternate deterrent, what are they, and what would be a better adjustment, a better tweak for us to do as a nation over time?
Yeah.
I want to have that. Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right, that'll be one of our upcoming episodes.
Okay. All right, I think that's a wrap.
Eric, do you feel like we listened to each other? Did we learn anything?
I talked to the hand. I'm doing something else. Yes, we listened to each other. Some of it was painful to hear, but I think we're exercising decent patience. I think not only are we listening, not to the point of being able to, hey, I heard what you said, but I think we're pondering it.
Yeah.
And I think we're considering it, and I think we're exercising a little bit of empathy of, hey, I can feel your pain. Hey, and like I said before, it hurts my heart about your struggle with being a patriot. Your struggle with loving your country. Your struggle with where we're going and how it's disheartening to you. So
you know the Jesus plumber advertisement I told you about?
Yeah.
Whenever
they don't though.
Oh, it's a previous episode. But there's an advertisement I heard that's like, we're just a family that loves Christ and wants to give you a good value on plumbing. And when I heard it, I told Eric, all I know is they're trying to manipulate Christians. Whether they are one or not, I don't know that.
They're getting my business.
All I know is they're trying to manipulate them. And whenever I see the American flag and all the patriot stuff, I feel the same way.
Oh, really?
I feel like it's an exploitation.
No, I mean, that's sad to hear, because when I see a flag, I'm excited that there's people that love their country and want to me, it's not more than just loving their country. Who is the country? The country is its citizens.
Yeah.
It's you and me. So what they're saying is, I love you. I don't know, that's how I see it.
Yeah.
So if I wave an American flag, you know what I'm saying? I love you. I love your guts.
I think patriotism's been weaponized politically to where I don't trust people who are too patriotic, because it's a cover-up for another thing. Like, they're using it as a distraction. Yeah.
Well, I don't mean it that way.
And I love people and I like America. I just don't care for America. The opposite. I don't like America. I care for it.
Yeah.
I told you when the election happened, I changed the banner on my Facebook pages. What is love if not grief persevering? Or what is grief if not love persevering? One of the two. But that's how I felt.
Well, if it gives you any hope, pretty darn sure Trump, he's only got 3 more years and then he's done.
He's talked about not leaving.
People have asked him routinely, are you going to have a 3rd term? And he said that's not in the card. Essentially, he said that's not in the cards. And then he mentions Marco Rubio as a potential candidate. His vice president is, of course, doing awesome. So he's kind of...
There was a second I forgot who the vice president was. It's like, who is that?
I'm actually going blank right this second.
J.D. Vance.
J.D. Vance. And he's actually... I was very discouraged when he was selected, but it's just because I was ignorant of him. I didn't know who he was or anything about him. I was really a fan of Vivek Ramaswamy. That guy is awesome, and
I don't know that guy.
I think I think he ran for since the election. He's quit what he was. He was I think he's a multimillionaire. He was running for president against Trump and everybody, RFK Jr. And of course, got cut out of the race. But I think he's governor of Ohio now, or was running for governor of Ohio. I actually don't even know if he got it or what. But he is great. He is so articulate, so smart. His logic in the way, and he speaks with empathy that will blow me out of the water. He's so good. If you look at some of his old town halls, he would have people come in that just very against the right and stuff, and he would listen. He would articulate their concern. He would say, "I think you're saying this," and then he would say it, and he would say it better than them.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Yeah, you got it." And it could be somebody that's trans. It could be, what are you going to do for me? And then he would speak about what is best for the community, and it is good. He's great. He's going to be somebody.
Write his name down. I want to look into him.
Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek.
Write it down.
I'm going to RHAMASWAMI. Final answer.
Anyone who's watched a few of these episodes knows Audra is the worst at reading something, and I take a mental picture of a bunch of consonants and vowels, and that's like an image in my head, but majority of the time I'd never pronounced it. So then a week or two later, when I'm trying to say it out loud, I'm like, there was a TG and there was a few A's, so it's like and like it's all an image, but it's jumbled in my head. It's almost dyslexia, but it's just a weird memory issue.
All right.
So yeah, I need it written down.
All right, let's wrap up. We did good. We listened to each other. We learned something. We're better people for it.
And if you have forgotten,
that's time's up.
People are more important than politics. Let's act like it.
Amen.